And I'm extremely proud of him. I'm extremely proud that in spite of everything that could have gone wrong, we're both still standing here.
So as far as what I'm bringing to the table, I bring me. Get mine, bout mine, go hard, looking for another like me. What's up? I bring me. Whose love is the tightest, whose kiss is the nicest. Me. Whose touch is the rightest. Me. Bad bitch, that's me. That bitch, that's me. Game bitch, that's me. Lame bitch, not me. What you get is what you see. And I bring.
What's up, LG gang? Okay, I'm coming to you guys today or this evening to let you guys know that today is going to be my second Teen Mom interview today. And without further ado, let me introduce Shawana Carter, one of my good friends. Yes, so let me get straight to it. Here we go. All right, guys, this is Teen Mom number 2 interview. I would like to introduce you all to Miss Shawana Carter. Yay! I'm so happy to have her and so happy to be able to interview her. She is or was currently a teen mom, and I have a couple of questions, some of the same questions, but then I've asked some friends of hers and some family members also without her knowing.
Okay. Had no clue.
Some questions that they might have had for her. So here we go. You ready, Shawana?
I'm ready.
All right. First question. How old were you when you got pregnant?
16 and a half.
16 and a half. Mm-hmm. So you delivered your baby 17?
17. Yeah, right, like 17 and like 3/4. February, after my 17th birthday.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Did pregnancy delay any goals and achievements? If so, what?
I tried not to let it delay anything. Any delays were just because of my not doing it. I didn't stop. My parents didn't allow me to stop anything, so it was like keep going, keep pushing. You just have to do it with a baby on your hip. So I don't feel like anything has been delayed. No.
Great. Are you and the father still together?
No. We haven't been. He is now deceased, but we stopped dating. I think my son was 3 or 4 years old when we stopped dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
What steps are you taking to prevent your daughter or your child from being a teen mom or a teen father?
The biggest thing for me was an open line of communication. So my children, I would like to think that they feel comfortable enough to come to me and say, hey, I'm considering sex, so that we can address it in a manner that we can either educate them or, if necessary, get protection. I just want them to be aware of the options. I try to keep them involved in a lot of activities, so that's not really a priority. And I've also always told them that babies aren't a necessity. I've reiterated plenty of times that babies are expensive, and they are, while they are lovable, they cost a whole lot of money to raise. And so if I can kind of deter them, but those are my biggest things, is communication is always number one. I think that was kind of like my piece where my parents kind of lost what was going on. Like, they knew I was involved. They knew I was, of course, at an age where I liked boys, but the communication line wasn't there. And it wasn't really all of their fault. My mother had made it very clear that if you feel like that's what you want to do, come to me. But I wasn't comfortable enough to go to her and tell her. And it wasn't, seriously, like, I started having sex in February. I was pregnant by May. So it wasn't like I was having sex for ages and I got away with it. It was just like, boom, hey, it's here. Now you gotta deal with it. So.
Nice. What advice would you give to a teen contemplating pregnancy?
This is not a toy. This baby is not a toy, and this will change your life. It will change the trajectory of your life. You will immediately be responsible for another human being that at most times doesn't really care how you feel. It's not something you play with, and it's not, you don't do it to keep your boyfriend or to make yourself feel better. You have to remember that you are now a responsible adult at that moment. Whether you are 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, you're now responsible for somebody else's life.
Nice. All right. What would you deal, or how would you deal with if your son or daughter came home and stated, Mom, Dad, I'm pregnant. I'm a teenager. I'm pregnant.
As a parent, your immediate reaction is some form of disappointment because you want so much for your child. You don't want them to go through these things that you've already gone through. And that's in any situation as a parent. I don't want you to repeat the same things that I've done. However, my parents were great, even though they were really, really angry. You encourage. I would have my period of disappointment, possibly anger, because like I just said, I want you to communicate. And if you chose not to, and now we have to deal with this, it's just a part of life. So we have to handle it. I'm not going to remain angry, nor am I going to belittle my child. I don't want them to stop going. So I feel like as a parent, my husband and I would both push them to continue on whatever path they already had set.
Nice. All right. This question kind of gets everyone, including myself. Who was the hardest person to tell and why? And can you give us a little snippet or story or testimony even on what happened?
My mama was. My mother had me at 14. And I was terrified to tell her. I had taken a pregnancy test at home. A friend of mine took me to get one, snuck in the bathroom, took the test. I was like, shoot, it's positive. So it took me like 2 or 3 days before I finally got out the nerve to tell her. And I didn't even tell her face to face. I called her at work. I figured she wouldn't talk too crazy to me because she was at work. She couldn't talk back. So I called and I, told her, and her immediate reaction was, "That's not funny." Like, that was the first thing that came out of her mouth. She wanted to say, "No joke. That's not funny." And of course she was upset, but that was the hardest. My mom and I had not always been like super close, but she's always been there. I think it's because I was, she had me so young and that was all I had. Even though she was married, I knew that was my mom. But it was just one of those things where I just kind of like, oh God, I do not want to tell her. I didn't actually tell my father. My mama told him. I was terrified when he found out, but I didn't actually tell him, so that one doesn't count. But my mama was the hardest. My siblings, I'm the oldest of 4, and it hurt to tell my sister, who was 5 years younger than me, that I was expecting. It was like letting them down. So.
Wow. Were there any struggles or battles you've experienced from being a teen mom?
Struggles is always, as a teen parent, some people expect you to be a little naive, and so you have to assert yourself in a manner to make them understand that this is my kid and I care. So we had battles like with doctors and things when my son would get sick. I have been put out of more than one doctor's office because I felt like they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, because they just expected that I was just not going to ask any questions and I should just take them at their word. But any battles, you have the normal time management challenges, trying to work and take care of a kid, make sure you spend enough time with your child. You have the financial troubles. Those are normal things. When there's somebody else depending on you and they're a priority, then those are things that have to happen. I didn't have any challenges like with dating as I got older. After I started dating his father, it wasn't really one of those things. He was always a priority. So when I dated guys, you didn't come to my house until I felt like I could, let you meet my kid. And if I was dating you long enough for you to meet my kid, then you were pretty important. So.
Good. Do you think that your life would be different if you weren't a teen mom?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't, I don't know that it'd be different as far as what my path ended up being. It would still be, I think I would still be similar as to where I am right now. The only difference for me was I knew like at 14, 15 years old, if I didn't have kids, I was going to travel the world. I was going to go everywhere. Like, I would need to have a cell phone on my hip at all times. And that's before we even had cell phones. But that's the only people we'd be able to find me, is I would be out. You'd have to send me a letter, say, come home. And so that's the only thing, is it literally slowed me down. And that's okay, because that's part of life. Something will happen, whether it was a kid or something else. At some point, I'd have to grow up. But that was always my goal, was to travel the world.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And last question, but definitely definitely not least, what are you doing now in your life that you were proud of? And then what are you doing now that you're not only proud of, but you would like to share to the world?
What am I proud of? I'm proud that I am my children say I'm a good mom. I'm proud that my husband says I'm a good wife. I'm proud that my mom still and my siblings say I'm a good sister and daughter. And so those are like priorities. I'm trying my best to be a good friend. I have a small circle, so I try to be there for my people when they need me. I think what I'd like to share is that wasn't the end of my road. And I'm gonna cry.
It's okay.
There were definitely really tough days as a mom at 17, 18, 19, 20. There were a lot of days that I came home and prayed that the lights were still on. But that kid is 23 and he's awesome.
Amen.
And I'm extremely proud of him. I'm extremely proud that in spite of everything that could have gone wrong, we're both still standing here. And he's an amazing young man. And I'm proud that I met an awesome dude who took him and me as a package deal and helped turn him into the young man that he is. And it's just awesome. I wish that everybody would understand that that's not the end of your road. And you don't have to feel like that's it. It doesn't stop there. There's a saying that we all don't start at the same time. And it doesn't matter what time you show up. If you show up late, at least you made it.
Yeah.
So I think what I'd like to share is that even after I had my son and my husband and I had 2 other children, and when we married, I got a bonus kid who wasn't mine, but I loved since he's 9 years old, and he's 25. And then I was led to start an organization to help some other children. And these kids, my children, get to watch us help somebody else. There were plenty of days that my son had to be reminded that mommy can't give you everything because I only have 1 income. And a lot of your friends' houses have 2 incomes. And I know what that feels like as a parent. And so 5 years ago, I started Carter's House, and it's a clothing bank for children. And we give out clothing to children from newborn to 18. And the growth has been great. We've helped over 1,500 children in 5 years get the clothing that they needed to go to school. We give out school uniforms until April. We give out regular clothes year round. So we've helped families that are in need to continue to take care of their children. And that's when I said earlier that I knew that what I would do, that was always something I knew from a very young age, that I was on this earth to help somebody else. This is just the way I do it now. So at 40 years old, I'm extremely proud of where I stand at this moment. It's not all perfect. There's still plenty of improvement that can be had, but I'm very pleased at what's happened up to this day.
Yes. All right, and all right, LG gang. Before we close, I do want to give a shout out to Shawana for letting us in on her story and then her life, actually. But Shawana, shout out your social medias, your IG, Snap, Carter's House, Facebook, anything.
Awesome. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Shawana_Carter. That's SHAWANA_Carter. I'm on Facebook as Shawana Carter-Henderson. Carter's House, which is the nonprofit that I founded and run, is on Instagram and Twitter as Carter's_House with no apostrophe. And we're on Facebook as Carter's House Inc. INC.
Do you have any upcoming events on the near calendar that you want to share? Want the community to come out possibly?
Yes, we have volunteer Saturdays every second Saturday of the month. If you're interested in volunteering with us, you can send us an email to volunteer@cartershouse.org. And Carter's House is all together. So you can send us an email there if you're interested. We accept volunteers from 12 years old and up without a parent. If you want to bring your younger children out and hang out, you're more than welcome to do that. We can accommodate up to 15 people in our space.
Nice.
So we will, once you send the email, we will respond and let you know if you've been confirmed, and you can come out and hang out with us.
Yay! Yeah, I was gonna give you a hug. Yeah, I'm happy. All right, guys, make sure you go hit her up on all of her social medias. It'll be down below in the description box. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Like I always say, peace out.